Okay, so basically we want to look at, in the part 2, we want to look at some additional tools, and we'll look at bubble charts, tree maps, geographical maps, and so on. So like I was saying, for the bubble chart, we usually use the dimension to represent the number of circles and the color. Then the size of the circles will be determined by the measure that we actually want to express using that particular dimension. So that's for the bubble. Then for the tree maps, is also the same. But instead of using the circle, we are going to use a rectangle. So the size of the rectangle is determined by the measures that we want to capture by using it to display. So that's what we do there. Then we also have what we call the heat map. So for the heat map,
Hello, ma'am.
I think you should just be making it as soon as the thing logs out. So the internet is punctuating, that's one. So for the heat map, we use it for correlation. Okay, if we have different attributes, we want to see how correlated they are, we can use the heat map. And whenever you have your heat map, you have it in form of like there's a pair between different attributes and what will be their correlation value. When I say correlation, there are different types of correlation. Maybe I should just say this. There's Pearson's correlation. There are different formulas for us calculating correlation. And what do we use it to do in data analysis? We usually use it to know how related the attributes are to each other. So if we are looking at attributes cream, for example, and cat.medv, we are saying that where do they intersect? That's minus 0.15. So that means they are negatively correlated, but not much. Not much negative correlation, but they are negatively correlated. So now it now depends on the kind of correlation formula that you are using. If you are using Pearson correlation, then you now go and look at the how Pearson interprets this correlation. But I know for Pearson, if you are looking for a very high correlation in a positive way, you are looking at between 0.7 to 0. 0.7 to 1. Okay, so if you have any correlation value between 0.7 to 1, that means it's very correlated. And we usually use these results to do some things, maybe in our pre-processing for prediction and so on. So if you have an attribute that is too correlated, two attributes that are very correlated, you probably don't want to use them because they'll be doing the same they will be doing the same work in the analysis and stuff like that. So depending on whatever is the goal. So if you're doing correlation for clustering, correlation for prediction and so on and so forth, the inferences you will make when you visualize in an heat map is kind of different based on what you want to use it to do. So yeah, that's what we use the correlation for. Then for the geographical maps, okay, there's some data that is very difficult for you to make sense out of if you don't visualize it in form of a map. And the examples of some of those data, we are going to be picking it and we're going to be using it, briefly this afternoon. So they basically give us that the geographical map, they give us the geographical representation of our data. And and that's and I will pick examples. Now, after the geographical map, we also want to look at how we can actually visualize complex queries. We did a little bit of it in the morning. That's the first part. But we want to go deeper. We want to see how we can visualize. If you, for example, you have a problem that says for furniture category, maybe in a particular problem or business problem that you are dealing, in which ship mode is mainly standard class, what is total profit made and total sales made, and everything is just lumped up together. How do you go about it? You break it down and you take it one after the other, and then you start solving them. So we want to see how we can, when we are presented with problems like this or questions like situations like this, how do we interpret it using visualization. So we want to see things like that quickly this afternoon before our time is up. So for this one, like I said, I like the approach of using problem to teach so that we can be able to see how things happen, in real life. So now, in order to do that, we have a problem, we have a data. The data is about an e-commerce website that sells clothes and so on and so forth, sells stuffs online. So we will see whatever they are selling in their data attributes just in a minute. So from this data now, I want to do a little bit of descriptive analysis to be able to understand what exactly has been happening in this business over time. Okay, so I want to of course use it to make decision. So for this data that we have, okay, we have row ID, order date, ship mode, sales, the quantity that was sold, the category of the product, and so on and so forth. So let's just see what kind of questions we can answer from this data. Okay, this is what the data looks like. So if you open the Superstore Nigeria data that I sent to you, you will see what the data looks like. It's kind of customized though to what we can actually use, particularly so that we can use the Nigerian map for it. Okay, so now we will go to the Tableau and then we'll start answering questions. We have a lot of questions to answer for this one since you're already familiar with the Tableau environment. So what are the sales, sum of sales, you know, sum of sales for each segment, and so on and so forth. We just pick it one after the other. So these are the questions that we're going to be answering. There are quite a lot, and then we have exercises for us to do, and then we can call it a day. So I'm going to do a new share and go to the Tableau. So I'm in Tableau. Are we together? Are we all in Tableau? Please say something so I'll know that my internet is still on.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, great. So our question: what is the sum of, we have been given a data set. It's an e-commerce data. I've described what is in the data. The question now is, what is the sum of sales for each subcategory, and how does this relate with profit? So we're not just looking for the sum of sales, okay, for different categories now. We are saying when you get the category, go further and look for the subcategory, and let's see the sum of sales, and let's see how these sales relate with profit. Okay, so each subcategory has the highest or lowest profit. Which subcategory, sorry, we are still continuing with the question, has the highest and lowest profit. So we want to know the category that has highest and lowest profit, and then we have an hint that we probably can use color to indicate some things so that it will make more sense. So that's the problem that we have, and that is the data that we have. Sometimes if it's real life, okay, because this is a workshop, we've already said, okay, these are the steps that you should follow. If it's real life, you have to sit down and think, what am I going to use to interpret this? When you do something like subcategory and all that, you already know that category has to do with dimension, types that you have. If you have a categorical data, what are the types that you have? What are the, different categories that you have in that your dimension in the categorical data? So that tells you that, okay, let's see. So but like I always say, it's always good to explore different ones, different types of tools, if you don't know which one, and then see which one better expresses. But there are some tools that they won't even allow you to explore them if you don't have the required, if you have not selected the required dimension. So that just helps you. So you can just try different things and then see how far it goes. So I'm going to bring in the data. That's the Superstore Nigeria data. Please, can we all see my Tableau? Please send me a chat, oh
Yes,
guys.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We can see your tableau.
Okay, so I'm going to sheet one, as just like we did the other time. I've loaded the data in Tableau, I brought it into Excel, and I have the dimensions right here, like we had earlier, and I also have the measures right here. That's the numerical attribute, then the categorical attribute, and then we can see that we have geodata, we have geo attributes. So we have state, country, and so on and so forth. And then we have our longitude and latitude that is generated automatically and stuff. So let's see how we can answer those questions. So we want to see the sum of sales. Now, before we can start answering this question, that's why I have to explain something about the data. You need to go back to the data and actually see which attributes will help you to answer a particular question, so you know which one you are dragging and dropping. So thankfully, we have those attributes right here. So the question is saying, what is the sum of sales for each subcategory? So before we even start doing sum of sales, let's know whether the data has a category and subcategory that we can use. So if it does, that means that half of our job is done. So if you look at this data, for example, we see that we have an attribute here called subcategory. So we can just, and the question is asking us, okay, that what is, I'm repeating the question so that if you want to think about it for yourself, what is the sum of sales for each subcategory? Okay, so for each subcategory, we want to know the sum of sales, and how does this relate with profit? Because we want to know which subcategory has the highest and lowest profit. Okay, so it's still in order with what we did before. So we are looking at the sales, we are bringing the sales up here, and then we are bringing the subcategory right here. And then since we have aggregate, okay, so that means that it has given us the sum in form of aggregate, which is okay. So we would like to also do some cosmetics because we want to visualize it properly. And then we are also talking about category, subcategory. We want to use color to indicate some things. So meanwhile, we have, if you look at this bar now, what this bar has told us is the subcategory right here and the sum of sales right here. But the question is asking us that, how does this sum of sales and subcategory, how does it relate with profit? So instead of bringing profit, there are several ways to look at it, but like I said, you use the one that best interprets what you have in mind. So because they are asking me that, how does this relate with profit, for example, I can now drag the profit from this particular column and put it on color, for example, so that I will have, let me remove this one, so that I'll be able to have a scale and a color coding of profit, how profit is increasing, and so on and so forth. So let's just do that. So if I drag my profit and I drag it on color, for example, because we want to see how it relates with profit, we can see that this scale has been created for us automatically. So we can just say, okay, fine. Now, how how okay, let's label it to, also profit, so that we'll be able to see what exactly is going on. Okay, so we have profit right there. So now the question now is, how does this bar that we have created, how does it relate with profit? So if I look at this now, I can see that for tables, under the tables category, I can see that if this is the profit scale and the profit goes from minus 17,000 to 55,000 and so on and so forth, we can see that we have the total for tables, for example, that particular category, sorry, they are not making any profit. Their profit is in the negative, and you can just be able to say that just by looking at this color code, based on the category, based on sum of sales. They are making sales. If you look at their sales, you don't think they are not making sales. They have about 200K sales, but they are not making profit. So that's how you can answer this question. Please, do you have any question before I ask my own question?
Please explain again.
Yes, I said, what's the problem that we set out to solve? The problem that we set out to solve is that we want to tell our audience that for this particular e-commerce business, they have several categories: tables, supplies, phones. Those are the categories they have. We want to tell them, want to give them an idea of the kind of sales, the total sales that they are making for each of these categories. If they call them subcategories, maybe they are a major category. So for each of these subcategories, we want to have an idea of the total sales that is happening. I believe that one is clear. That's why we have the subcategory here and we have the sum of sales right here. So that's what gave us, if I remove all this one, let me start from the beginning. That's what gave us this. So we have subcategory and we have sum of sales. So we are trying to use a bar chart to demonstrate how much they are selling. Like if I sort this one now in ascending order, we can see that the category that is selling, that has the highest sales, for example, is phones. Okay, so based on how much they have been able to sell, okay, over almost 340K. But now we now said, the question is now asking us that after you have discovered this, let's now see whether, even though they are making sales, are they making profits? So let's see the relationship of these sales vis-a-vis this subcategory with the profits that they are making. So we said, instead of putting that, maybe just dragging profits to this point and then having separate bars like we did the other time, let's color code it with profit and let's see what is going on for each of these subcategories. So I now said, in order to do that, we can just drag, since it's still aggregate. So this profit I'm going to pick now is going to be aggregate, because I have aggregate here. So I'm going to drag this profit and put it on the column. So that has given me some changes right here. And these changes can be interpreted with this bar that we have right here. So because in this bar now we have the highest profit 55,000, that's dark blue color. But when the profit is coming to orange, real orange, for example, that's minus profit. They are not making profit. So by the time you want to interpret this, for example, you will see that, okay, for example, tables is really minus profit, even though they are making a sales of over 200,000 K, but they are not making profit. But you can easily describe that using this diagram, unlike when everything was blue. Another thing I also did was just to drop the profit on the label so that we can actually see this minus that is right here. Okay, so that's exactly what we did. So we can also separate profit and the one that is not negative profit, positive profit, and so on and so forth. So that kind of answers our question. So do you get it now?
Yes, ma.
Okay, so let's move on. So if we're able to do that now, let me give you another question. I want you to do this one for yourself. What's the sum of sales for each segment, and how does this relate with quantity? Okay, so we are still talking about category anyway. Or is there segment? Is there a segment attribute there? Okay, there's segment, oh guys. There's segment, so it's not category. So this question is saying, what's the sum of sales for each segment, and how does this relate with quantity? So that we can be able to see the segment that has the highest quantity and the lowest quantity. Please try to give me something from the data. I'll repeat the question, or let me see if I can share. Yeah, I'll do a new share. And I'll go back to this one. Yeah. Yes. So this is the question. So this is the question. 2 minutes. Let's see if there can be any attempt. Everybody is quiet. I'm not hearing any voice. Who has tried?
Ma, I've done it.
Okay, you've done it. Please, can you share your screen? Anderson, please share your screen. Great, great, fantastic. Did we all get it? Yay, some people have gone silent. Yeah, thanks. This is the answer. Did we all get it?
Okay, ma.
Yes, ma.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, so thanks. So let's continue. So how does,
Yes, ma.
okay. So I have another question here. I can do it, and then you can just move on with it. So how does sales compare with profit from 2014 to 2017? Let's try before I do it. I always like us to try so that we'll be happy that we got it. How does sales compare with profit from 2014 to 2017? So we are looking at sales, we are looking at profit, and we have something about time there. How does sales compare with profit from 2014 to 2017? Do you have any attempts, or I should tell us? Okay, so let's look at sales. We are looking at sales. Let's just put sales and profits beside each other. And we're probably still on the aggregate, so we are good to go. Sales, profit, then we are looking at year now. So let's drop. Do we have days? Do we have days in our attributes? We have days. Okay. Other days. We have something like that. Other days. Okay. Okay. So sales and profit, and then we have the question is how does sales compare to profit from 2014 to 2017? And since the data gives us 2014 to 2017, so this is kind of okay. And we can even bring it on top of each other first if we like. Yay. Okay. And then we can also, if you like, can do a color code based on the measure names and see how far. So you can see that measure names is automatically generated for us. It's not part of our data, but we can still try something like that. So at least just a simple answer, but it has given us what we are looking for. Okay, let's move on. I have another question. Okay, so this one has to do with maps. So we are saying which countries are making high profit and which countries are making a loss. Okay, so we are going to use maps for that one. And I think the data, for us to do that, I think the data is kind of a little bit different, or we can still use the same data. So the question is, hello, which countries are making high profit? So we are still using the same data. Which countries are making high profit and which countries are making a loss? So we want to use map this time around. We are dealing with countries, we are dealing with profit. So we want to see how the profit is and want to visualize it using maps. So I've already made it very plain back. So we are going to use maps. So we can drag, and for maps, you can use longitude and latitude. Once we have geographical data, it can automatically generate our longitude and latitude for us. So we can take the longitude, the generated longitude, and we can put it in the columns, and then we can put the latitude. So let me just change it. Latitude, longitude. Can do it the first way too and just see what it is doing. Okay. So let's wait for the map to come up. Okay, you can see what I'm having. So if you should also have this actually if you have not run it before, because by default it will put the map of US. So, but because it's Nigeria, if you check the data is Lagos, Nigeria, Osun State, and so on and so forth. So it should give us Nigeria. So we have to kind of work on that. So if you double click on state in the dimension, okay, okay. So we can have the Nigerian map. So we can now, if you have some unknowns, you probably want to resolve it, but because the data is already created, so you may not have unknowns. But if you have unknowns, maybe some points, you cannot find them there, okay? You can edit the location, and if it's United States, you change it to Nigeria, so that you can have what exactly you have right here. Okay.
Sorry, ma, I'm not getting something.
Oh, let me.
Spanish.
Yes, but did you get the map?
No, I did not get the map.
Okay, so let me start again. Where I started from was like the Tableau can automatically identify the region once it is a locational data. So it will see the latitude, yeah, if the latitudes are correct. It will see the country that it is, and it will pick it out for you. So because we have if you check the data, if you check, for example, this state now, if you go to the raw data in Excel or something, you see that the states are the name of states in Nigeria. But there are times that maybe those states, their names have changed and all that. You might want to resolve it. So I'll tell you how you can do that later. So, but for now, we have this data that we have now. You can see that because we have a locational attribute, one of the attributes is geographical data. So the Tableau has automatically generated the longitude and latitude for us, okay, for those states. So that's why I said, if you load in your data, just like I have, this is fresh. I've not done anything on the data, and I've not visualized anything. If you load in the data, you see the longitude and latitude generated automatically for you. So you can just drag the longitude to where the column is, and you can drag the latitude to where the row is.
Ma, you drag longitude and longitude.
Yay. Okay. That's why we don't have it. Okay. Yay. I'm waiting for it to load. The most important thing is that we need to have Nigeria here. So if you don't have it, you can just click on state dimension and make sure that your country is set to Nigeria so that you can see the map of Nigeria. Right? So do you have it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank God. All right, so in case you have some countries that is showing as, my own is not showing as unknown because the data is, there's no states that you cannot identify. But in case you have some states that you cannot identify, okay, that's if you have another data set that has some states that you cannot identify, okay, you can click on edit location and you can manually set the name of those states. So maybe later on I can come with those kind of data. But this data is all the states are correct in the state of Nigeria. If you check the data that we have, all the states are correct, so you probably won't have much problem. Okay, so but where did we start from? Our question is which countries are making high profit and which countries are making a loss? Okay, so I want to visualize that on the Nigerian map. These are these data that we have. Oh, did I say country? I was supposed to say state. Sorry. Which states are making high profit and which states are making a loss? I want to visualize that on the Nigerian map. These are the data that we have. So if that is the case, we already have an attribute that tells us about profit. So we can use and it's aggregate. Let's just check. Is it aggregate? Okay, it's aggregate. So we can in order to visualize that on this map, the simple thing for us to do is just to drag the profit. Okay, this profit.
Color.
Yes, to drag the profit, you can put it on color. Yes, somebody has already told us the answer. Very nice. So we can drag the profit and put it on color. So that gives us an idea, just like we did the other time. That gives us an idea of what is going on with this state. So merely seeing, a state that has so many, a very deep orange shows that they are not making money. Yes, yes, somebody saying something. Okay, so let's also look at let's label it because right now, unless I put a question on it, we might not really see what is going on. So I can also, in order to know what exactly are these profits, I can drag the profit on the label. Okay, I can drag the profit on the label, and I can drag the name of the state too, so that we can be able to see which state. Okay, so we have an idea of what is going on. Have we all been able to get that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Okay, I want to continue. That's why I'm asking you. Okay, so let's now see another good thing that we can also do with maps. Okay, is for us to actually, there's a lot that we can do. For example, if we know where our customers are and we are able to visualize this using a map. So that means that we can see where our customers are concentrated and we can see where they are not concentrated. It might not be customers, it's just because I'm a business analytics person. That's why I'm using customers all the time. And because of the example that we see, it's an e-commerce business. If you are trying to do something else, okay, maybe you want to see where exactly people have a lot of COVID or something, okay? So you can actually do that too. But to do that, you need to have a data that has the longitude and latitude of your customers. So and there are several ways to get that. Actually, you can get them once they are on mobile phones and they are GPS on and all that. You can easily track them. And so we have a lot of apps that can actually help you to retrieve the longitude and latitude data of your customers and all that. So if you visualize on the map, it also helps you to make better decisions. So in order to do that, we probably will be using another data because this data that we have for the superstore does not have the longitude and latitude for the customer. So let's just load in that one very quickly, if I can find it. So I'm going to go back to my data source, and I'm going to bring in the new data. Okay, let me just, I don't want to close this one because I'm still coming back. Okay, no problem. So I'll open another tab. So we want to use customers too for this one. So let me use here. Okay, so I want to bring in that customers two data. Okay, so I have the data now. Okay, so I'll go to this. So if I go to data source, you see how this data is now. You see that for us to be able to visualize the position of customers, we need a data that actually has at least it should have, even if it doesn't have space, it should have the longitude and latitude of each customer. Okay, so this is what the data looks like. So I'm going to bring in the data. So I'm going to the sheet. I hope you can see my tableau. I hope I'm not on my own. No? She say something. So I'm not.
You can see.
Okay. So now we have this is a new set of data. I'll go back to the old one later. But for this one, we can see that we have longitude and latitude, and it has generated the number of customers for us. There are some things that it calculates for you automatically, but we're the one that loaded in this longitude and latitude, and then we have the state. So these are the four columns that is there: country, state, longitude, and latitude. Okay. So in case you have unknown or something, you can double click on the state. So if you double click on the state, okay, if you have some unknowns, it will appear somewhere below here. So you can click on it, and then you edit location and change from United States to Nigeria so that it will be seen Nigeria. And then also you probably just want to remove remove aggregate from the analysis menu. And then the next thing is to drop the longitude and latitude, and then you are good to go. Okay, so now let's visualize the position of the customers. Okay, so in order to do that now, we can now I'm coming in. Sorry, I want to actually see what is going on here. To have our map, we need longitude, we need latitude. So that one will give us map. So that's why I just double click that one. So let's have that one right there. So when I click on state, I'm able to get the Nigerian map, and I'm able to see where exactly my customers are. I want it to be on the map. So just give me a minute. Okay. So we have the position of the customers on the map, just dragging the long. This is automatically generated longitude and latitude. That's for the map. But this is the latitude and longitude that we actually loaded in as our data. So we can see that all these customers, they are scattered. So for example, who can help us to interpret the population of these customers, for example, with respect to the Nigerian map? Can somebody say something? Can somebody say something?
You can drag the customers to color.
You can what?
Drag the customers to color and put aggregate.
Yes, and put aggregate. Yeah, I get it. But looking at this map, what does it tell us? What does it tell us? Where are our customers? Are they mostly in the north or in the south? Just a simple question.
The south.
Okay. Particularly around Oyo and so on and so forth. We are awfully quiet, so we are not saying something. So I'm going back to the other one. Yeah. New share. Now I just quickly use that one to show us location. Once we have the longitude and latitude data, we are good to go. We can easily visualize the location. So I'm going back to the process. We are not. Okay, so we are back here. So we have more questions. Which states have been given the highest and lowest discount? Can we try? I'm going to remove all this one. So let's try it on our own. I'll call somebody to show us your screen. The question says, which states have been given the highest and lowest discount? Hold on, my mouse. Which states have been given the highest and lowest discount? So who's going to share his screen? Highest and lowest discount. Everybody is muted. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Esther, say something. The question is, which states have been given the highest and lowest discount? Use map, use map, use map to do it. Anybody wants to try? Everybody has gone to sleep. Obina, I hope you are not sleeping. Chidera, Emmanuel.
No, ma. Why with you?
Esther, I hope you are not sleeping. No.
No, ma.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Share your screen.
You still stop answering yourself. I just listen.
Start answering. Start answering. I'll put you on the main stadium now. No more games.
Sorry, what was the question again?
Which states have been given the highest and lowest discount? I want you to show me what you have been able to visualize for that. And then I want you to use map. Use map to show it. Which states have been given the highest and lowest discount? Anybody can try.
My think again.
Oh, great. Okay, so share your screen. Let me stop sharing. Yes, yeah, share your screen. Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. This is what I was looking for. Nice one. Thank you. Okay, somebody said my customer data has only coordinate info. Yeah, that's the second data, that's customer data. But the data we are using that we are supposed to use to answer this question is the data for Superstore Nigeria. Superstore Nigeria. Okay. So another question I have. This one,
all this is
even though I've not
David,
mentioned this one, I want you to use word map. It's the same thing as when we are using bubble plots and all those kind of things. But okay, let me do word map. Then you will now do bubble plot. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. I'm going back to Tableau. Okay, so the question here is which states are making high profit? This time around, let's use word map. So we are looking at states that is making high profit. Okay. So in order to do that, we can, and I want us to use word map. Okay. If you look at this place, we have word map somewhere here. Okay, it's not here. Okay, so let's just we're not which states are making high profit. So we want to pick state. I hope you can see my screen. Say something.
yes, ma, yes.
Okay, so we want to pick state. Sorry, I want to pick state and I want to drop it on the text. I just pick state and I drop it on text. So, and I also want to now pick, we're talking about profit. So let's use aggregate this time around. So let me, okay, aggregate is already highlighted. So let me drop the profit, the sum of all the profits, because I already have all the states represented here now. Let me now pick the sum of all the profits and let me drop it in color, for example. Okay, so I have, let me reduce this. Okay, so I have profit. You can see the states have been colored by profit. So the ones that are really blue are making a lot of profit. The one that, but I still can't see the size. I still can't see which one is much. So I want to drop the sum of profit on the side now. 1 minute. So if I drop, okay, profit sum, if I drop it on side, I don't want this one. I want.
Ma, is there need for country?
Yes. No. Is that the country? I've removed it. I've removed the country. You get it? Okay. So we have the sum. It's not giving me the color. Let me start all over. We have, once we see the states that are making profit. So I said, let's pick states first and let's drop it on text. So I pick states, I drop it on text. I have something like this, but I don't want the country, so I remove the country. Okay. Now I now pick the profit and I dropped it on, because I want this thing, I want the color to show, which one is making profit, the lighter, the darker, and stuff like that. So I'm going to pick profit and drop it on color. But even as it were, I can see that some colors are fading. It is really deep. Okay, that's Adamawa. They're making really negative profit and stuff like that. But this one, I want a word map. I want the size of the word to indicate the profit. So I want to drop profit on size again. So this is what exactly I'm looking for. So what is the interpretation of this? You can see that once you see one that is really big, they are making a very good profit and it's positive. So if you like this, this is the sizable profit. So we are almost the highest like that. But if you see a very tiny one like Imo, their profit is really, really negative. And that's why it's really, really small. So I'm using both color and I'm using both size. Yeah. Particularly that size is the best to express, the measures. These are these dimensions. Okay. So did we get it? Did we get it?
My own gave me something different.
Okay,
But
so
like it was not in the case of the world getting bigger, it was like bigger boxes.
yeah, so come to this place. Come to this place. Can you see where my mouse is? My mouse. Can you see my mouse?
Yes, I think
Oh,
I'll change it. Thank
so
you.
yeah. So you need to change it to text and not square. Did you now get it?
Yes,
Okay, great. Okay, so if you have gotten it, the next question I have, so if you are going to use, so since I've done this one for you, it will be easy for you to do the other one. So which states are making the highest profit? Is similar to this, but this time around, let's have a bubble chart. Bubble chart. Bubble chart. I'll call anybody to share your screen. Bubble chart. Bubble chart. Anybody has the answer? Just one click to give you the answer.
yes, ma.
Okay. So I hope your bubble chart looks like this. I don't want to call anybody to share screen so that we can save time. I hope your bubble chart looks like this. Is it correct or not?
Yes,
Okay. So we can also we can drop state in the color because right now what we have is just showing us profit. So if you drop state in the color, oh, what's that? Okay. So do we have something like this, guys?
yes, ma.
Okay, only one person is answering me. Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's do the tree map. Same question. Tree map.
Might not get it.
Okay, just the tree map is just to use it. Did you get it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ma, what do you call it? What did you call it?
Tree
Something map.
map. It's called tree map. You can also find it here. Can you see my mouse? This is a shortcut tree. But what we did was to construct our own manually. But you cannot
Yeah.
actually also do it from here. Okay, so let's pick one or two complex trees and we'll start rounding up from there. Okay. So we have in what category? I have a question for which I will do before I now start giving you your own. So in what category, subcategory, in what category, comma, subcategory and state of Nigeria is the highest sales made? I repeat, in what category, subcategory and state of Nigeria is the highest sales made? So we want to know, we don't just want to know which category and state do we have the highest sales. Like, is it furniture in Akwa Ibom that is giving us the highest sales? No. We want to know the category, even the subcategory, okay, that is giving us the highest sales. So when you have things like that, you have to first of all understand the attributes and then see how you can now maximize, as in how you can manipulate the attributes, sorry, to give you the answer that you are looking for. So let's clear the screen and then just do something. Okay, so we are looking at category. Because the question is saying, so I just first of all drag category. Okay, because the question is saying in what category. So let me just pick the category and let me even see what it says. Okay, in what category is the highest sales made? Usually when you have things like that, you break it down small. The question is what category, subcategory, and state is the highest sales made. But first of all, see in what category is the highest sales made. Then you can now add subcategory. Then you can now add state. So you just do it one after the other. So in what category is the highest sales made? Fine. So this is the category, but we have only category here. We have not talked about sales. But if we're not planning to draw a bar chart or something, you can draw a bar chart if you want to. But for now, let's just put sales. Let's just have a table or something and put sales and let's see what that one looks like. Because we are talking of highest, we are talking of sales. So since we still have the aggregates on, I just want to drag the sales and put it on label and let's see what we have. Okay, so I don't particularly want the color for now, so I've removed it. Okay. Okay, so we have this table gives us an idea of what is the total sales that have been made in each of these what do they call it now, in each of these categories. So now we have answered 1 out of 3. So from here we can know the highest sales for the category, but that's not what they're asking us. They want us to break this down into subcategories. So in order to do that, we can come to this subcategory and then you can just try different things until you get what you want. So we have the subcategories now. Let me just do it all over because I don't like this. I don't like this box that is showing. So we have category. I just dropped it on the okay. Okay, yeah. So this is where we started. So I don't want this class, let me just put it as automatic, okay? So I don't want this stress to be showing. So what I just did was just to pick category. I'm doing it all over again. I just put it here and make sure that this is automatic so that whenever you have automatic or text like that, you'll be able to have, values here, like a table, but you just don't know what those values is yet. So if I now want to know what those values is, I can actually drag sales because I want to see sales for different categories. I can actually drag sales and put it on the text. So it has given me, so it's clearer now. That thing that is blocking it before is not blocking it again. So, and I just changed what was here. So now we have this now, but these are major categories. You can see the sales for major categories. Let's now see for the subcategories. So if I put the subcategories, let me try and get it on it, okay? So I just dropped the subcategories on it. So I removed that other one. So we have different subcategories now. But we also want to see categories anyway, but let's just do the subcategories first. And then we now want to see the sales and then the state also. Okay, the state. So let me bring the state. Okay, so it's not like what I want. What I want is for each role, I want there to be category, I want there to be state, yeah, category, and then the state. And then it now give me the amount of people that is there. So I'll keep trying it until I get it. So I have to kind of create combined fields from states. Okay. So let me do it one after the other. So please guys be patient. We take it one step at a time and we get it. So we'll create combined you know, the idea now is that you want to have category, subcategory, and state inside a particular, okay, let me do it like this. So this, what I want is, I want us to have, this is a major category where my mouse is furniture. I want it to have comma, subcategory. So if the subcategory is technology now, to be there. And still on this line, I also want it to have the state, so that I will now have how much things now happen in front of it like this. So in order to do that, okay, I can do something like create a combined field from state, category, and subcategory, okay, by clicking the three together, okay, using my control key. So if I click on this, let's see, I want to pick category, I want to pick state, and I also want to pick subcategory here. Okay, so my control key is down while I pick the three. Okay, then I can now use the arrow beside this subcategory, and I want to combine it together, okay, and create that a combined field. Create a combined field. I hope we are together.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I want to create a combined, because I'm looking for three things. I'm looking for category, subcategory, and state. So I can create a combined field like this. Okay, you can see that the combined field has already appeared here. So I can now say, the ones I was using before, they're not going to help us right now. So I can now drag that one to this particular place. Okay, so now if you extend this now, you see that, let me try and make it bigger. Okay, so I'm trying to see this. So we have, so for this one, I should first of all tell you the major category, that's furniture. Then it now tell you the state, because that's the way I selected, I combined them together. And then it now tell you the subcategory. Okay, I want to make this bigger. Okay, so it's now telling you the subcategory, that's bookcase. So, but we are still not done, because after he told us that we should get the category, subcategory, and state, which we have gotten now, we now need to fill up this place with value, so that we will now know which one has the highest, and we can even now sort it in descending order to be able to now answer the one that has the highest sales. Okay, so now let me now bring the sales now and drop it on the text. If I drop it on the text, you can see that the amount has appeared here, but it's not sorted. So we have to like scroll down before I use one with the highest and lowest. So I believe that we can use Sarah's advice here. Okay, so and we have it sorted in descending order. So what I now have here has answered the question, but the question says, in what category, subcategory, and state of Nigeria is the highest sales made? So the first thing is to get an attribute that combines the category, the state, and the subcategory, which we did first. Then let's now put the sales in front of it. Okay, and finally, it's sorted it in descending order. So the answer to the question, in what category, subcategory, sales of Nigeria is highest sales made, is answered right here, because we sorted it in descending order. So 67,965 is the highest sales made, and the category is technology, the state is Lagos, and the subcategory is phone. Do we understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank God. I had one yet. Only one. Ah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes, thank God. Okay, so let's do one. Let's do another one. You do this one for yourself. So the question is So the question is, in what category, subcategory, region, and state is the highest profit made? I think I changed that a bit. In what category, subcategory, region, and state is the highest profit made? Oh yeah, let's try it. In what category, subcategory, region, and state of Nigeria is the highest profit made? If you have your answer, please share your screen. Please share your screen. Let me stop sharing my own. Yay, nobody wants to help us out. You guys are tired. In what category, subcategory, region, and state of Nigeria is the highest sales made? Yes, Esther is sharing her screen. Thank you very much. So what do we have, guys? Okay, category, region, state. Okay, everything is fine. Did you do sales or did you do profit? I think you did sales. Okay, profit. Thank you very much. Great, great. Okay, let's have another question. This one, I'll share my screen to show you this because it's kind of long. So let's try this one. Let's try this one. We're going to be trying things to the end. We are almost done. So, but we'll do exercise till 3 o'clock. Okay. Any attempt? Let me give it 2 minutes. Oliari, please be getting ready to share your screen with us. Emmanuel, okay, I've showed us something today. That's okay. Yeah. Sidera, please be getting ready to show us your solution. Yay, some people have logged out. So you can actually use anything, oh, anything that will explain express what you want to express. Can use scatter plot. Can use anything at all. Can use tables if you like, anything. Yes. So who is brave enough to show us the screen? Hey, nobody. Hey, I see that I share your screen, sister. Hey, I share your screen, share your screen. How let's do something. At least you are still locked on. Some people have run away.
Ma, please, the question.
Who's that?
The question.
Oh, the question. Obina, get ready to bail us out.
Is the question specifying for furniture and standard class or general?
No, that is standard furniture. So you know, there's a category called furniture.
Yeah.
Yes. So for furniture, has cheap mode to be standard class. So we now want to know the total profit made and the total sales made. So you are going to hold furniture that category, and you're going to find out the one that is cheap mode in that category.
Ma, how are we going to
standard price in that category?
How are we going to specify furniture?
And total sales. Questions always come in a lump of way, not always straightforward. Obina, anything for the boys. Anybody can share the screen, actually. Anybody. Let me stop my end. Okay, thanks. All right, so we have an attempt. We are looking at the question is saying furniture. Let me see your furniture. So where is furniture here?
So I filtered it, man. So you look at the category it's right here. It's just furniture show, that's all.
Okay. So furniture, you selected furniture. So all this one we are looking at is just for furniture, right?
Yeah, just for furniture.
Oh, okay. Then the ship mode. Where do we have your ship mode?
This is standard.
Okay. Standard class. Okay. So where the total profit? Please,
total profits.
Please explain what you have done, how you answered our question.
Okay, so the total profit is 3,067. So look at this column. This is profit and the sales column. Just in case you look at it differently. I only labeled it so you can see the number.
Okay.
Yeah. So total sales is here. That's 1177.31. Then we have 3067 for profits.
Okay.
And we also have this for standard class. This is just for furniture.
Okay.
It's not for everything. This is just for furniture.
Okay. So we can pick it out from there. Okay. I like it. I like this attempt. Like, it's not the only solution. No. We have other ones, but I like this one. This one, at least this one, we can easily answer that question. If we want, we are looking for the categories, it's only furniture that he has presented, and we are looking for standard class. That's the ship mode, that is standard class. We can easily get it, and then we can see the highest profit and the highest. We use bar chart to represent the zone. So, any other attempt? Nice one, Anthony. Thank you very much. Any other attempt?
Thank you, Ma.
Yeah. Any other one? Okay, let me share my screen and show you a second approach, another approach. This is also okay. So we are looking at so instead of using the bar that he used, which is very okay, I want to see how I can use scatter plot, or what do you call it now? Yeah, plot. So the first thing I want to do is that we are looking at profit, we are looking at sales, because the question is saying total profit, total sales. So another way to look at it, apart from what he did, is, for example, to first of all make sure that your aggregate is on. Then let's see total profit. Let's see total profit. Yeah, and let's see total sales. Here. Okay, so we have something like this. We are not there yet. We are doing it one after the other. So, but what this is doing for us is that for all the for the data that we have, we are able to see, we have a point plot, okay, of the total profit and the total sales. But that is just the beginning of the journey. They now said they want this in for category furniture. So let's see how we can split this particular dot that we have to take care of that category. So I'm going to drag category, because I want, this is just one, all of them, all the three categories that we have is already inside this circle, but I don't want that. I want to break it down. So I can now pick, for example, that category. Where is the category? And drop it inside size. So by the time I do that, you can see that it has splitted. So we have the three categories now. We have the furniture, there is technology, sorry. Then we have office supplies, and I'm coming now. And then we have furniture. So all these three now, I've broken them down. So we are still not where we are going, but we are taking it one by one. So if I want to answer some part of the question that says, for category furniture, what is the total profit made and the total sales made? This is furniture, right? This is the total profit made and this is the total sales made. I can even label it. Let's label it profit. Or let me see. No, let me use category to label it. Okay, so that we can actually see. So for furniture, this is the total profit, this is the total profit, total sales. So I use scatter plot to visualize that. Now we are still going further, in which the shift mode is mainly standard price. So if you look at shift mode now, if you look at the shift mode, where is the shift mode? You can see that it's a categorical variable, so it has some categories too, so we can split it. Okay, so in order to do that, in order to split it, I can just put the shift mode, okay, in maybe, let's say, you can still put it in size anyway, or color, anyone. So let me try and put it in color, just to see whether we can use color to differentiate it. You can see that size is already changed for this. Let me shift mode, and let me put it in color, for example. Okay, so we can see that it has splitted it now. So we are now having, if I put, and thank God it's labeled. So if I put my but this time around, let me label it also with shift mode so that we can see the details of shift mode, because it's just technology that is showing us here. So let me label it with shift mode. Okay. Okay. So with this now, what we have here now is that we have the furniture is broken down. We have furniture that is standard class. We have furniture that is second class. We have furniture that is first class. Okay, I think there are about 4 of them. And then we should have furniture that is same day too. Okay, okay, but okay, furniture that is same day, just like it's tiny, so it shouldn't label it. There was no space for it to label it that is same day. So we have all these ones to splitted. So now going back to our question that says for the category furniture, okay, what we are now looking for on this particular plot now, we are looking for furniture that the shift mode is standard class. Furniture, shift mode, standard class. Now, this is what we are looking for right here, because they are also asking us, let's label it according to the profit too, so that we will see what exactly is going on there. So let's look at profit. Sorry. Okay, so let me just so we're back where we were. So I wanted to label it according. I want this one to show too, both the profit and the sales. So the sales, I want to drop it on the label, and I also want to drop the profit on the label. Okay. So if the question that they are asking is furniture, we have the furniture right here. Standard class, we have the standard class right here. They're asking for the total profit, we have it right here. And then total sales, we have it, total sales, total profit, we have it right here. So it's displaying for us. So this point answers our question. All other points also came out, just like we did for the bar chart. We also had other points that we didn't need, but we now have points that we also need that help us to clearly answer the question. So if, for example, you are presenting to a client and you have visualized it like this, all you have to do is just circle this particular point and highlight it so that they know that this is what you are making reference to. So the question I have for you is that, forget about the fact that I'm the one taking the training. The question I have for you is that out of this visualization that is done using the circle, the plot, okay, and the one that is using bar, which one answers the question more?
Bar chart.
Bar chart. Okay, some people prefer the bar chart. Okay. So is that the popular opinion? Some people are not talking.
Bar chart.
Okay, great. So it now depends on which one you want to use. Okay. So let me see how much time we have left. Not just 20 minutes. Let us take one last question and we are done. Okay. The last question we have is, what is the total quantity sold and total sales made for office supplies using standard class sheet mode? That is where we are going to call it today. What is the total quantity sold and total sales made for office supplies using standard class sheet mode? I'll share my screen. I'll share my screen so that you can see the question. Okay. Hey, no, it's not this one. Yes, it's this one. Obina, please answer me now. Mayowa, say something. Are you there or you are virtual?
I'm here, ma.
Okay, yeah, say something now. Share your screen for the first time today now.
Ma, sorry, I didn't even get your question. My
Yeah,
internet was
yeah, this is the
breaking up.
question. Yeah, it's on the screen. Can you see question 11?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Obina, where are you now?
I wonder. He has gone into the cloud.
I'm trying to use Power BI to solve all these questions. Ma. Please,
Ma, can I share my screen?
share your screen, share your screen.
Hello, ma. Hello, ma.
Chidera, are you there?
I think she might be having network issues.
Anderson.
Yeah, Emmanuel.
Ma?
Yeah, please explain. Talk to us. Speak to your slide. Let's speak to your visualization. Let's see
Okay.
what you have. How does
I
that answer our
I
question?
made category and shift mode a combined key. Then
Okay.
when I clicked on sidebar chart, it added measure names. So it specified my measure names to be profit and sales. Then when it did that, I I started, so it just puts the sales and the level of profit side by side in a bar chart form.
Okay. So now the question of total quantity sold. Wait, how's that answered? What
Total,
is total quantity from this your chart?
wait, total quantity. Total,
Total
oh,
quantity and total sales.
sorry, is sales I put, the sales I put.
Okay, profit. Okay, so this one is telling us the total profit and total sales,
Sales.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then the only one I'm looking for here is the standard class.
The standard class is here.
Okay.
I combined it.
Yeah. This is a very nice way to do it.
I combined.
So you are saying that all this bar now, these two bars, they are representing ship mode, that's standard class,
Yes, and office supplies.
and of office supplies. Oh, this is
Yes,
cool.
ma'am.
This is cool. This is actually different from the one I did, but I like this one. Can you see there are several ways to express these things actually? That's what I'm just even finding out myself right now. So this makes sense because it was combined. Okay. Ah, you have carried it away.
Oh, okay, I know. Let me put
Yeah,
it
no
back.
problem, no problem. Any other attempt? I want one more. One more. Okay. So I like that his answer, and it's actually simple. So, but there's another way, of course. I know the bachelor people might not like it anyway, but let's just so that we can see that there are varieties of ways to solve the problem. Let me just show you another way. So we are looking at quantity. We are looking at so me I like to use the scatter plot. So we are looking at quantity. We are looking at sales. So this quantity, we are looking at sales. So I'll still use my own previous approach. We are looking at quantity. We are looking at sales, and we are trying to get uh office supplies and standard ship mode. So the same way I did it the other time. So ship mode, I'll put it in the ship mode, I'll put it in the color, then I'll put the category in the size. So it breaks it down for me. Then I can now say, what's that now? I can label it so that we can see what is going on. So I'm going to label it with ship mode, label it with category, label it with sum and quantity. Okay, let me the same thing that happened the other time. Just remove all this stuff. Sales, sales is supposed to be here. Okay, great. Then I'm labeling it with quantity, and I'm also labeling it with sales. So question of total sales, total quantity. So I have quantity, I have sales, and I'm looking for office supplies. So this is office supplies, and I'm looking for standard price. So this is what I'm looking for. So this is my own solution, and also the one that he showed us now. There are also solutions to the same problem. So it now depends on which one you think will be easier for your clients to be able to understand. And of course, bar charts would be very easy for them to understand. So that's okay. But if you want them to see some other things, you can also use this approach. Okay. So, well, I think I have come to the end. And I want to hand over to Obina that has refused to answer my question today, so that he can wrap up this session. Thank you
Ma,
very
is
much.
there a way we can save our work?
He said what?
Is there a way we can save our work?
Yes, that we can. We are using Tableau Public. So everything, the only way you can save, I know we can save the data and export it, but to save it, the only way I usually save it, you see that you're going to say something though, because you're more a Tableau guru than I am. So the only way I used to save it is after I've visualized, like for example, if I want to present this, okay, I just screenshot this particular page and make the presentation, or take it to dashboard and put, so she talk about dashboard in the other visualization and then display it. But to save it is a challenge because the one we are using is Tableau Public, and to be able to save, you need to get the license, probably for the desktop or something. So you need to pay. So, but if you want to use Tableau without paying, you use Tableau public, but there are some privileges that you will not be able to enjoy, and that's particular saving one. Another thing is that, like you said about this Tableau public, is that anything you do and you want it, and it's the security is very high, you don't want people to have access to it, you don't use your Tableau public, because the reason why it's public is that anything you do is, you have any data you upload, you have made it public, you have made, anybody can use it, anybody can see it. It's going, into a particular position where anybody can have access to it. So that's one of the warnings when you want to install Tableau public, that you are free to use it, you are free to use the facilities, but the data can be accessed by anybody. So and that's saving too. I've tried so many. I've looked for a lot of a lot of this of code and solutions that can help you to save. I've not been able to get it unless you have the license. So please see that. Can you say something about that?
The other way I know that you can save
Yes.
is if you save to like Tableau public,
Okay.
like it's online. You would have to like sign in to be able to save it there. So whenever you want it, you can actually go and download it from like that your um online, like when you log into
Yeah,
Tableau public on the website, you
yeah.
can download it from there, and you can download any Tableau public documents from there and open it on your own laptop and continue from where you stop. So
Thank
save.
you. So we will continue the training tomorrow. We're hoping I'm still going to say something. Please let's try and come for tomorrow's training, because we are going to talk about prediction and so on and so forth. And the last day, that's Saturday, we are going to be talking about network analysis and all that. So I hope to see you then. Yeah. Obina, over to you.
Thank you, ma.
How about president is not speaking? I should round up for you.
I don't think it's here.
He's here, okay. All right, so please just hold on 1 minute so that I'll confirm tomorrow's time from him.
It's also by 10, starting by
It's
10.
also by 10, I'll be there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so please, 10 o'clock tomorrow, I believe we can still use the login details. Thank you very much. It was nice having you around. Any questions?
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay. So take care. Bye-bye.
Sorry, ma'am, I want to say something
Okay,
else.
say something, yeah.
Yes, so if anyone is having trouble
Yes,
with Tableau
yes.
and or you can still use this other visualization to Microsoft Power BI. So I think Microsoft Power BI is a little less, okay, well, should I say less complicated than Tableau, but it's very also easy to understand too.
Okay, who
So
is
Microsoft Power BI is a very, very strong analytical business tool too. So anybody could go and explore on it too. You
That's
are not
Power
just
BI, Abby.
yeah, Power BI by Microsoft. So
Yes,
you are not just restricted to Tableau for visualization. So we
yes.
also have the IBM. Is it this
Odela,
IBM?
Odela.
Yes, exactly. So everyone else could go explore any of all those tools too. I'm very conversant with Microsoft Power BI. So if anyone has problems in Microsoft Power BI and wants me to like put them through, I'm very open to.
Yeah, so I'm going to take you up on that, Maiwa. So you are
Yes,
going to help us. It doesn't even have to be videos that you did, so that it won't take much of your time. But help us with some Power BI short visualization videos, okay,
all
on
right.
our group. It could even
All
be
right.
on YouTube already. So just put the link in the Telegram group so that people can also explore that too.
Yes, and you can easily save in Microsoft Power BI. It's
Yeah,
not as difficult as Tableau, and it also has this artificial intelligence inferencing tool. So
yeah,
it is a very great tool. It's a very powerful tool too.
yeah. How they're paying you money for this their market. So please post it. I'll be expecting it because I'm also interested. Thank you.
All right, man, no problem.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye. See you.
Thank you, Mom.
Bye, man. Thank you very much, man.
Okay. Obina is back.
Yes, ma'am.
We have ended though, so share the grace.
Well, thank you very much for